Baseball season is back. It's underway. I'm here with Big Kev. It's a crosstown conversation. Let's do it.
Welcome to the number one place for all Chicago baseball. Let's start the show.
Oh, snap, the throwback.
Yeah, yeah, man. Figured I'd go ahead and throw it back one time for you, brother. Like I said, but hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Jones here with my brother Big Kev. We are here talking about not only the Chicago Cubs, but the Chicago White Sox also in another edition of the Crosstown Classic, man. I'm so excited to be here. Kev, what's going on, brother? How you feel?
Hey, man, another week is in the book, but this time we got actual baseball to talk about. We've seen both of our teams play 3 games. One of us is 3-0. I'm not sure what the Cubs are, though.
Oh, the Cubs are 0-3. We ain't won 8 games. Yeah, we lost again
I
today.
knew that.
He started off on that with me. I see how it goes. I see how it goes. Nah, man. But yeah, man, we're here to talk about some baseball, and we're here to talk about legit, man. Something that I've been thinking about, and kind of wanted to stream past you, Kev, and hear your thoughts on things too. But yeah, first and foremost, Chicago Cubs and White Sox played a game on Friday, and the White Sox ended up demolishing the Chicago Cubs in that game. Cubs struggled mightily to handle what the White Sox pitching was doing, bringing to them in that game. White Sox do go on to win that game 8-1. It is spring training, like I said. So I just want everybody, all the White Sox fans over there, to chill out, take a deep breath. It's just spring training. Nonetheless, the White Sox did go ahead and take that game. Kev, what were your thoughts on that? What were some highlights, some things you saw that you liked?
Well, first and foremost, I was paying attention to Jonathan Cannon, right? Because he's trying to at least make the roster. Last season, he was on the opening day roster, and then he struggled for most of the season. And then he got sent down to AAA Charlotte, didn't make it back to the roster. So for him, he's trying to pick up a spot, go to AAA, and then whenever they call him up, be ready. He gave us an inning and 2/3 pitch, but he gave up 2 hits, a home run, struck out 3, walked 1. He didn't look like he's ready overall, but it was all right. And I like what I saw from our young guys. Braden Montgomery was one of them that I was paying attention to, and Antonacci is somebody that we really, really need to be paying attention to because he's playing really well for the White Sox. And then of course Murakami, man, he's just gonna be something, man. He had 4 at bats against the Cubs, 2 hits and a double for 2 RBIs and only 1 strikeout. So it was a great game to watch, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. On the Cubs side, you look at Jamison Tyone. He pitched a inning and 2/3 of 1. He allowed 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout in that game. Clearly, not really what you wanted to see out of Jamison Tyone. But again, it's the first game of the season, so you understood what you were going to get. It was first game of spring training, not even of the season. First game of spring training, so you understood what you were going to get from JMO in that one. And then after that, like I said, a lot of pitchers that the Chicago Cubs just were trying to see if they would even make the roster. A lot of these guys are AAA and AA guys that pitched the rest of that game. And even for the Chicago Cubs, we did not send out our A team by any means. I mean, we did have Alex Bregman out there. We did have Seiya Suzuki out there that did homer in that very first game. And then after that, I mean, like I said, you saw a lot of either AA, AAA guys or guys that are trying to make the big league roster. Again, the highlight would be I thought Jonathan Long at first base going 1 for 3 and his ABs. He had a nice solid single, and then of course Seiya Suzuki, the highlight of his home run at his first AB, first home run of the season for the Chicago Cubs. I posted that as a reel also and as a short on YouTube. So again, just like I said, the end of the season, but spring training, you understand what you have. Like I said, that these guys are not, really fully, ready yet. It's a very early on. But again, kudos to the White Sox, man. Like I said, Austin Hayes homered. And a 2G.
Yes. Hey, look, I'm super excited about Austin Hayes, bro. Like, I feel like he was probably one of those under the radar signings in terms of like the whole Major League Baseball that's going to pay major dividends for the Chicago White Sox. He's going to be out
Yeah,
there. I think he's going to be playing left
left
field
field.
or right field. Left
He's left
field, and
field for you.
Benintendi's going to be in right field. So
Yep.
defensively, I'm looking to see what he's going to bring to the table because he's coming back from a couple of injuries. But offensively, man, he has the capability of hitting 20 to 25 home runs, 100 RBIs if he can stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, he's somebody that has experience, last played for the Cincinnati Reds. And was decent for them last year. I mean, you guys got yourselves a decent left fielder. I mean, he ain't no Gold Glover, not four-time Gold Glover like Ian Happ, but like I said, not everybody can do that. So, but he is all in all, like I said, he's an upgrade for you guys out there in left field. But the big main story is your man Murakami. He went 2 for 4 in this game with 2 RBIs. Definitely all eyes have been on him all spring training. In all 3 of his games, he is just somebody that everybody is looking at. The Chicago White Sox right now, again, are undefeated in spring training. They beat the Cubs 8-1, then turned around to beat the Athletics 11-2, and then of course tonight beat the Brewers 5-2. And
Mm-hmm.
Murakami, man, like I said, he is somebody that you want to keep your eyes on. He's somebody that is going to continue to be watched. And he is somebody that I think everybody wants to see what he's going to become, man. What have been your thoughts about him so far this spring training with
Yeah,
just
so like my main
this
thing
short
was to
three
my main thing
three
with Murakami was to see
games,
if he
man?
had his date plate discipline, right? Because over in Japan, he had a super high strikeout rate. I think it was in the 28%, almost 29% strikeout rate. But on the flip side, he had a
Mm-hmm,
nice walk rate as well. And we know that he has power. We
mm-hmm.
know that he can hit the long ball. Now, he didn't play in the second game versus the Athletics when the White Sox dominated them, but he did play again today. He only had 2 at bats. He struck out once and didn't get a hit. But at the end of the day, look, they just trying to get him up to speed. Now, historically, Japanese players, even Otani, like they don't really play well in the spring training situations, right? They're just trying to get a feel for the game. But
Right.
overall, I like his approach. I like his approach at the plate. I like the fact that he's been aggressive, him and the rest of the team. Honestly, the Chicago White Sox have been super aggressive at the plate so far this spring training. But for Murakami, it's it's all eyes on him for real, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited to see what this guy's going to bring to the table. He's going to be responsible for putting butts in the seat, getting eyes on the screen, and I can't wait to see him hit his first home run of spring training.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know that spring training is just a warm up for players, and I understand, like I said, that they are trying to figure things out. Again, I still suspect that Murakami will still have his struggles throughout the season. Again, I really expect his first year to kind of mirror what Seiya Suzuki's first year was for the Chicago Cubs. And again, that'll be he'll have some really high highs, he'll have some hot streaks in between there, but he also will have times and moments where he struggles too. And I get it. I mean, it's just again, this is something brand brand new for him, and he's still learning. He's still figuring out the MLB and how to be successful there. Again, I do suspect he will put it together in the seasons to come, but at the same time, like I said, I do expect him to, like I said, to struggle at times too, which is okay. I mean, like I said, he's a rookie technically, so I mean, he'll be fine. He'll be all right. Which brings me to really what I wanted to talk about. The crux of this conversation today was the media really was really like kind of trying to mirror in between Murakami and Suzuki and talk, and they asked Suzuki about Murakami and whatnot. And Seiya Suzuki was really gracious in what he talked about, but of course he has a real funny sense of humor too. So this first thought was that he first commented that he hated the White Sox slugger and Team Japan teammate Murakami after Murakami hit a pop up that Suzuki lost in the sun in center field. Um, And Seiya Suzuki basically tongue in cheek said he hated him, said he used to love him, but now he hates him because of that. But then yeah, obviously you see quickly clarified and said he was just kidding on that. Like I said, because these two are both headed to Japan now to play in the World Baseball Classic as well, which we will both have we'll both have coverage on that too, talking about how those guys are doing in the World Baseball Classic. However, it brought me to think about really the relationship between these guys. Seiya Suzuki mentioned that some of Murakami's decision to come to Chicago and choose the Chicago White Sox is based off conversation that they had, and then also that whatever Murakami needs, whatever he needs to get adjusted, however Seiya Suzuki can help him, he said he was willing to help him and do whatever. And for me, like I said, you see these Japanese players really locking arms and kind of taking care of each other and looking another. And I thought that was really cool. What did you think about it?
Hello, you there?
Yeah. What was your thoughts on that? What did you think about it?
Oh, it was like crazy. I didn't even hear the question. It was a little choppy with the Wi-Fi, but I think that the Chicago White Sox have a great chance at taking a play on making a play on Seiya Suzuki because of what you said. Japanese players typically want to play with other Japanese players. It's just how it goes. You see what happened in LA last season, where one of the top prospects in Japan went to go play with Otani. You see the fact that the Chicago White Sox were able to get Murakami is because we also have ties to Japanese players from way back in the early 2000s. And
Yeah.
that plays a role in people wanting to play because they go home, they talk about it, they talk about how it is to play in Chicago, what it's like, and so on and so forth. So they have a strong community within the Major League Baseball diaspora. So like, I don't think it's out of the question for the Chicago Cubs, to, especially if they're going to really try to develop Matt Shaw at right field, right? We've been hearing things about that. So with the Cubs trying to develop him and Seiya Suzuki coming up, this is his last year on contract, right, for the
Correct.
Cubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very possible. It's very plausible that the Chicago White Sox move on from Benintendi and pick up Seiya Suzuki to play on the same team as Murakami, especially next season where they're expected to take another step forward and quite possibly contend to win the Central Division and be a playoff contender.
It is a very, very plausible scenario that the White Sox slide a contract to Seiya Suzuki should he hit free agency. Now again, free agency, and this is all based on pie in the sky. This is all like I said, there's no reports come out of anything like this. The only thing that we've talked about, the only thing that we've heard about Seiya Suzuki and his contract extension, or really any contract extension that the Cubs are going to do, everything is going to be kept under wraps. So you won't until it's reported he re-signs with the Chicago Cubs, and same Ian Happ. So like I said, don't expect to hear anything about that. All of that stuff will be kept under wraps. However, what we're looking at here is, let's say it doesn't have the best season, and maybe the Chicago Cubs do offer him a deal, but it's not necessarily what he's looking for. The White Sox have the money and the revenue to be able to slide him a deal and be like, hey, listen, you get to stay in Chicago. Your boy Murakami is here. You know you like playing with him. And it's a lot less stress over on the south side than it is on the north side. I mean, let's just be real. Let's be honest about that. So, like I said, if for him, you can come over here, stay in Chicago, stay where you're at, keep your place, everything like that. And all you have to do is just drive a little bit further to the ballpark on certain days. It's not above the thought process for Seiya Suzuki to get an offer, but I only suspect something like that to happen if Seiya Suzuki doesn't have necessarily the best year with the Chicago Cubs, which Seiya Suzuki has already talked about himself that the pressure is on for this season. Like he has to deliver this season for the Chicago Cubs, because if he doesn't, they probably will not offer him the type of money that he's hoping to get out here for his next contract.
Oh yeah, listen, man. Come on, Seiya. Come on, get some Harold's chicken. Ain't no Harold's chickens on the north side, Seiya. Don't come on out south. Get you some mild sauce, lemon pepper, fried hard with the strawberry mystic, my God, the pina colada mystic, and enjoy yourself some Southside flavor, bro. It ain't as bad as they try to make us out on the news. The Chicago White Sox stadium is amazing, and then the food at the stadium is incredible as well. And you'll be loved on the South Side. You'll be loved on the South Side, especially if you play the way that you've been playing for the Cubs the last couple of seasons, even with your defensive issues. I think he should have made the All-Star team last year. Did he make the All-Star team last year?
No, no, he was not an all-star.
He should have.
Had he been in right field every day, he probably would have with the type of numbers that he put up. But because he was DHing, that's a lot of why he didn't make it. Like
He
I said,
definitely should have been. He put up All-Star numbers. Him and Michael Bush both
yeah,
put up All-Star numbers. I would love to see Seiya Suzuki on the South Side, especially as they're trying to rebuild. He would be instantly become a fan favorite. And
yeah,
then him and Murakami would be the Japanese Bash brothers. And then at that point, we'll have Colson Montgomery and Braden Montgomery as well on the
yeah.
roster. Like you're looking at a youth movement and a turnaround that's going to be faster than people might think on the South Side for the Chicago White Sox. It's been bad for the last 3 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
but this season and next season is going to be a lot better on the South Side for sure. So perhaps Seiya can come and be a part of something special because it's definitely going to be something special out south.
Yeah. And again, we are also dealing with something special this season up north. Obviously, like I said, so Seiya Suzuki is on the Chicago Cubs this season. And what we're looking at this season is for Seiya to mash and bad with his battery mates, including PCA, including Ian Happ, including Alex Bregman, and including Michael Bush. So for us, we want to see Seiya Suzuki really be what teams have said he is, which is one of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best pure hitters in baseball. So, like I said, for us, we want to see Seiya Suzuki be that this season. We want to see him show that he is that this season, worth $100 million contract. Because I can promise you guys, that's the type of command he was going to want, that 5-year, 6-year, $100 million deal. Now, the question will be, are the Cubs willing to give him that type of deal? I mean, you never know. We'll have to see what happens. Like I said, the Chicago Cubs also got to look at deferred with the way they signed Bregman with deferred money. Anything is possible now. So we'll see what happens.
Man, Seiya's going to have to prove it defensively.
Yep.
Offensively, I don't think that's going to be the problem because every baseball player has ups and downs. He's gonna be better than Turner was for you guys last year.
Yeah.
I just feel like at the end of the day, if he's going to lose the ball in the sun, if he's going to drop routine fly balls, if he's going to misplay the ball off the bat, those types of situations are what's going to determine whether or not the Chicago Cubs bring him back.
Yeah.
Because we know what he brings to the table offensively. Last season was probably his best season that I've seen him as a Chicago Cub offensively. So
Absolutely.
I'm expecting him to build on that this year, hit 30 plus home runs again, be disciplined at the plate. Because you remember 2 seasons ago, that man was swinging at balls in the dirt. So,
Yes, yes, he was.
he's and y'all see me in my all black. And y'all know I'm a Chicago White Sox fan, but I do watch the Cubs a lot because I'm one of those rare Chicago fans that watch both teams. It's just White Sox first. I can't root against the Chicago team. I just can't do it unless they're playing against the Cubs. Then all bets are off. But at the end of the day, I pay attention to the Cubs a lot. I like what Seiya Suzuki brings to the table, so I wouldn't mind him coming to the White Sox. But we'll see how that goes, man. It's all about this season. Big Mike, man. How you feeling about my White Sox being 3-0 though? Like I know it's spring training. But have you been able to see anything? Have you been able to watch a couple of the games, couple of innings here and there?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like I said, especially because we're really doing the. I'm actually be watching a good deal of White Sox games in general, like even during the season, keeping up with them just because, like I said, we do this crosstown conversation, and you ought to watch both just so you can be able to talk about both. But yeah, man, the White Sox to me, there's a couple articles out already of some reporters that are just like saying like, hey, listen, White Sox might give some teams some trouble this year. Now, again, I was on that bandwagon months ago. I text Big Kev in the conversation. I said the White Sox had a very sneaky good offseason. And if health plays a part in things, White Sox could find themselves in a very good position come, August, September. Now, I don't know where that will be, But like I said, they could absolutely find themselves in a very much different predicament than they have been for the past 3 or 4 seasons. The White Sox themselves, again, it's spring training. Like I said, somebody has to win these games. It's great to see them putting up numbers and beating teams like this. Like I said, they're supposed to, and they may even start the beginning of the season off hot. It's about consistency for me with them, and it's about keeping it up all season long. Like I said, the White Sox, I think they kind of started out decent halfway through. Well, not halfway through, but through the first quarter of last season, and then it all just fell to hell. So for the White Sox, it's really about them figuring out what they're going to do, and how they can keep it consistent all season long, and shock some teams. So the shock factor with the White Sox is going to be huge this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. It's obviously the players, right? Pitching, positional players, all of that stuff plays a role. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the Will Venable effect taking another step forward. Last season he came in, and in most seasons, Big Mike, in most seasons, game, if a team may have a 19 game improvement, they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Chicago White Sox was just that bad that he came in and improved them by as a manager, improved them by 19 games, and they still lost 100. They have another 20 to 25 game turnaround. They're in playoff contention. So I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, bro. So appreciate you all in the chat too, man. Like, there's a reason to be excited about what the Chicago White Sox have brewing on the South Side. And plus, Jerry Mr. Burns Reinsdorf is on his way out. He got half a foot out the door. Hold on, where he at? Jerry Mr. Burns Reinsdorf is halfway out the door. So you know that the incumbent ownership team, they're gonna come in and they're gonna throw money at the situation. I believe that the new owner is gonna be coming in is gonna be, he owns the Phoenix Suns,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw what he did. He swung it at bringing Kevin Durant. He brought in Chris Paul and so on and so forth. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't anticipate the Chicago White Sox being this cheap grab C-list, D-list players year in and year out. Over the next 5 years, there's going to be some big changes happening on the South Side for sure.
You guys might get that new arena based off of this and everything. Like I said, man, it'd be really interesting to see what happens with all of that. And of course, guys, like I told you, we already know what the expectations are on the North Side. Like I said, we're 0-3 right now in spring training, but at the same time, we don't have everybody playing every game. A lot of guys have said, a lot of guys haven't even seen the field yet. As far as Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, things like that. Again, we got Jefferson Rojas pretty much being the star of spring training right now for the Chicago Cubs.
Who was it last year? Was it was a dude named, was it Strong? What was his name?
Workman last year
Workman.
was
Yeah.
and
I thought
what's
Workman was.
hilarious is Workman actually ended up getting signed by the White Sox too last year.
I thought Workman was going to be raw as hell,
bro, because he
for the
killed.
Doggo Cubs.
Yep. He killed in spring training, and then got to the regular season, bro. It was not it. But like I said, it on the North Side, it's a lot to be excited about. I know, like I said, our spring training record is 0-3. Don't panic, guys. Like I said, it's spring training, and we don't even have all our horses together yet. Moises Ballesteros just touched down in spring.
Oh, he
training.
back?
Yeah,
Woo!
finally.
He's going to be trapped in Venezuela, G. I was
right?
like, oh, God, was he going to make it?
So yeah, no. So we just got him back. So like I said, everybody calm down, relax. Nobody overreact. The Chicago Cubs are going to be just fine. When we start the real games, it'll be all good.
Listen, I'm just glad we get to watch baseball.
Sure.
Yesterday, I had people over, and we were supposed to do this early. We appreciate you all for waiting because I have major technical difficulties over here on my end. I needed to update my MacBook and so on and so forth. But yesterday, I had people over. I was watching college basketball, and I had the White Sox and the Cubs game. I was flipping back and forth on my phone because we play at about the same time, Big Mike. So it's hard to keep up with what both teams are doing. But today, the Cubs, they played the San Francisco Giants, right?
Correct.
And they had a crazy situation toward the end of the game. You want to touch on that before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. So basically, it's very rare that you see a triple play happen in baseball, but the Chicago Cubs forgot, and hilarious enough, Seiya Suzuki was one of them, but so he forgot how to run the bases or something like that, and literally because he overran to second base, they were able to get the ball back into the infield from the outfield, and it caused a triple play to happen, and that ended the inning right then and there. And the Chicago Cubs had a chance right there to put up a lot of runs on the San Francisco Giants. That is a game that they ended up losing by 2 runs. So you look at that and you say to yourself, like, damn, like you don't want stuff like that to happen during the regular season. But again, I suspect, I think the Chicago Cubs are going to be just fine. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Yes, sir.
We're not
But we
worried.
appreciate everybody in the chat. Quiet Storm, Derek's Young, Sydney Brown, Steely E. My God, we appreciate y'all. As we wrap this up, because I got some other things to do too, Mike. Man, it's been a crazy day. I got to make up for lost time. But listen, man, don't forget to follow Big Kev, me, Big Kev, at Big Kev from the Shy, Big Kev from DACHI, and of course, Chicago White Sox Central, Sox Central Pod, Shy White Sox Central at gmail.com. And Mike, get your credentials, gang.
Absolutely, man. Chicago Cubs Central Pod on everything, all platforms, y'all. We got a big week coming up over on the north side, Chicago Cubs Central. Make sure that you guys tune in. We also hit 3,000 subscribers over on Chicago Cubs Central. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. That jersey giveaway will be March 2nd. Make sure that you guys tune in for that. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Chicago Cubs Central Pod, the group, in on that group. Don't miss out on that, man. That's an opportunity for you to get episodes early. That's also an opportunity for you to get more entries in to see if you can win that free jersey, guys. You don't want to miss that opportunity also. And I got some very special guests coming up this week on Chicago Cubs Central, man. We got a lot of good stuff happening. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm Big Mike. That's Big Kev. Peace.
South.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.